Josh Duhamel has been having quite a year. He started things off with Netflix's Ransom Canyon, which everybody was talking about. I mean, that show became kind of a sleeper hit. But all of his projects this year show that Josh Duhamel knows how to do a lot of things. So after Ransom Canyon, he went off and did Off the Grid. And he's ending his year with a fantastic new film called London Calling. Now, let me tell you something. I miss the days of action comedies. You know, the Lethal Weapons of it all. Like, there are other action comedies out there, but I feel like they're few and far between. I mean, this one isn't necessarily like a laugh out loud comedy, but it has the elements of humor sometimes, but it also has the action and the emotion and all of the things. And the premise is pretty simple. It's this hitman who's kind of down on his luck, who's forced to sort of babysit the son of a crime boss. But for a great action comedy, you just need the simplest of setup. Like, think about it. Like, Lethal Weapon was just this sort of bad cop and good cop. And that dynamic is what made the story so fun. And it's very similar in London Calling. So it was great to chat with Josh today about his fantastic year. He also recently had a baby, so he's really having a good year. And we talked about all his projects this year, but we also talked about kind of Josh's role right now as a Hollywood actor, the uniqueness of some of his roles. For example, he was in Love Simon and Love Victor. He played the father of a gay son trying to come to terms with accepting his kid, and I talked to him about it today. So sit back and grab a snack because I will be right back with Josh Duhamel.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
You said H. Allen?
H. Allen, that's right.
What does the H stand for?
Honninger. It's a German name. It's awkward. So it's cool, but it's uncomfortable at the same time. So the H is the H. It's nice to meet you, though. I mean, you have a similar situation with your last name. It's always mispronounced, I hear, right?
I know. It's been since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I'll answer to anything.
Yeah, same. I'll take Alan if you want to call me Alan, but I always tell people H. Allen just to really throw them off.
You can call me Dumbbell if you want.
I won't call you Dumbbell, but you do dumbbells well. I've seen you do them in movies, so there you go. Maybe.
Wait, I never meant to.
I mean, you lift dumbbell. See, dumbbell, like yeah, not that literal. I wasn't that literal. But speaking of dumbbells, muscles, this connects, I swear. You do action movies very well. Like very well. And we know this obviously over the years, but like, what about London Calling? Why did you want to do it? And what inspired you with it?
I loved how irreverent the script was. I loved how unapologetic the humor was. It was a bit dark. I think I related to a lot of what this guy was going through. You know, he's a guy who hasn't he's lost a step over the last couple of years and has a hard time sort of coming to terms with that. And I think that all those things, and I love the fact that he, you know, realizes that he hasn't really, you know, measured up as a father as much as he should have.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees that in this kid that is sort of forced to take out on a job with him. And I think that, you know, all those things together, and I knew that Alan was directing it. I'd worked with him before and I loved working with him. Alex Chinisi, the same DP as we had on Bandit. So there's a lot of elements that I just really loved about this that I just had to be a part of it.
Well, and I mean, one of the things that I liked about it is I find nowadays there's just not enough comedy and action movies. Like, I love the Lethal Weapon days where it was like there was action, but it also was funny and there was humor and there was heart and all of the things. And so I'm really eager for more of that. And I wanted to get your take on sort of the state of sort of action thrillers and if you're wanting more comedy.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's one thing I really liked about this, and I knew that we were going to be able to accomplish it with Alan, was that, you know, I never want to like sort of manufacture that. I don't want to try to force it. It all has to come from a real place, you know, and these characters just by nature were so contrasted. They were just from totally different worlds. And from that, you get all these fun situations that sort of naturally, you know, cultivate humor, you know, and I think that was what I really liked, is it never felt like it was, okay, now we're setting up for the joke and boom, there it is. I just felt like every situation naturally sort of gave you this really uncomfortable, dark, sort of risky humor at times.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing that really sort of blew me away by this, and I talked with when I covered Novocaine, the film a couple months ago, and they also shot in South Africa. And South Africa has, I mean, Cape Town specifically has a way of looking like Southern California, like no other place in the world. So like, what was it like shooting in South Africa while pretending to be in LA?
Well, I would have rather shot in LA.
Yeah,
Nothing against South Africa because it was awesome
it's a
and the
beautiful
crew was
place.
amazing. But
Yeah.
you know, nothing like leaving Los Angeles to go to South Africa to shoot a movie about Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just feel like we needed to get that figured out here because there's a lot of crew member friends of mine that could really, use a little bit more production here. But
Hmm.
having said that, it really is amazing how great of a double that is for Southern California. It looks
Hmm.
like Malibu. It looks like, you know, Los Angeles at times. So, we're also able to find a part of Cape Town that very much resembled London. So it worked out great. I had a great time shooting it. It was one of the best experiences I think I've ever had shooting something.
Mm.
So yeah,
It's
every
also
every movie's a new adventure, and this was definitely one of those.
it's also just fun. Like it's just fun to watch, which is like I think ultimately what you want from a film. You want people to be moved by the story, of course, but you also want someone to leave the theater realizing that they had fun. And for you, I mean, you've had a pretty good year with Ransom Canyon, with Off the Grid, and then this, I mean, as a capstone on it. So like, are you excited? I mean, what do you make of the year that you've had? Because with this film ending it really is kind of you've had a great year.
Yeah, yeah, I have. Thanks for that. I'm very lucky. I sometimes have to pinch myself that I even get to do this for a living. I never take any of it for granted because I've worked a lot of jobs, and I'm just really, really lucky that I get to do it. It has been, and Ransom Canyon specifically was one of those shows, and you never know what's going to hit and what's not.
Yeah.
I've had plenty that don't.
Hmm.
You just kind of try to hedge your bets, surround yourself with as much talent as you can, and just go in and do the best job you can, and hope that it hits. And Ransom Canyon really did, thankfully, and I think that that's a testament to April Blair and
Hmm.
Netflix and that whole writing team, and that cast was just all together to make one show that they believed in. Off the Grid, the same. Johnny Martin, I thought, did a great job. We didn't have much money to shoot that, but that one was very close to me because it was very much my it's like a nightmare that I have, but in that, what happens if you have to completely live off the grid? Could you do it?
Yeah.
I'm always sort of living in that space. And then this one, I knew that Alan was going to make it. I knew I had a good shot at making a good movie because he'd done it before. I saw how he operated. I know how meticulous and detail oriented he is. And he has to suffer my sort of way of trying to find new things and let's experiment, let's try this or that. So he has this and I have this and we somehow make something fun.
Hmm.
Um, but I think uh, im- the most exciting part of this year was the very last day of shooting. I was on a rush to get on a plane back to Los Angeles because my baby boy Shepherd was about to be born,
Mm.
and so I've had a year of
You've had a good
watching
year.
watching this dude grow into this little maniac. So I
Yeah.
feel very lucky.
Yeah, that is a lucky year. That's a great lucky year. Well, also too, thinking about the year, I mean, I've been watching your stuff since you started. I mean, it's I think I've come of age with the projects you've done. And one of the things that blows me away about your work is you hit every demographic. You know what I mean? Like particularly even with this year, you got the women with Ransom Canyon fully. I mean, they're on board with whatever you do. And you got the dudes with, of course, Off the Grid and London Calling. And you're kind of hitting, and even, and I'll say this for myself as a gay homosexual person, you even have from your Love Simon, Love Victor. I mean, you got the gays after you too. So like you're hitting every demographic. How does it feel to kind of have that broad appeal?
First of all, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I just try to find things that I think I would want to see, things that I think people will connect with. Love Simon specifically was one of those movies. Greg Berlanti, another director that I've worked
Yes.
with a few times,
Great guy.
who
He's a
I
friend.
absolutely love.
Yeah.
I find somebody that I really jive with, and I try to work with them as often as I can, whether it's Greg Berlanti or Michael Bay or Alan Unger. There's these guys that are they work a certain type of way that's conducive to what makes you feel comfortable and creative and liberated to go for it.
Yeah.
And when I read that scene in Love, Simon, in the driveway, when he struggled to sort of connect with his kid and had to be vulnerable, and that scene, I literally teared up when I read it. I was like, I got to do this movie. Because I think I spoke not only to the LGBTQ world, but I think it also spoke to guys who couldn't quite understand it or had a hard way of articulating how to connect or break through to them. And I think that was a great opportunity to sort of bridge the gap between the two.
Well,
so,
I'll add to that too, just to, pat your back a little bit more, that like someone like you in something like that isn't normal. It doesn't happen all that often in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Where we expect, God loves Stanley Tucci, but we expect Stanley Tucci to be the accepting, loving gay dad. Like we want him to be that role. Whereas like the action star Josh is not the one that we're expecting to be in that role. And that then makes that fan base, that gay fan base, that female fan base, et cetera, go watch something like London Calling as well. Like it's rare. And so, we get indebted to people like actors like that do projects like that. So I want to add that to what you were saying as well.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet. It's the beauty of what I get to do. I can't even believe I get to do this for a living, to be honest. Yeah. It's like every job is totally different. Every day on every job is totally different.
Yeah.
So, you get to go like pretend to be somebody different, somebody new, explore places in your psyche that you'd never otherwise go to. It's this kind of stuff that it's so exciting, and I'll never, get tired of it, because it's always a new sort of journey.
Yeah. Well, my last question for you is, considering, the different demographics you hit and like the different types of projects you do and the variety of projects you do, is there anything you're kind of itching to do that you haven't done yet?
I never know it until I read it, to be honest. It's not like I'm looking like I need to go play a serial killer. I need to go play like the unaccepting father to a gay son. I don't see that. I'm not out there. I just try to stay open to material that I have an opportunity to go explore. And I think that, again, if I just stay open to something that I feel just connects with me, and I feel like I can bring something to it, then that's what I want to go do next.
I think Josh liked me. What do you think? I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did. Thanks for watching today's episode of The Parting Shot. I really do appreciate it. You can follow me at @AllenScott on everything. Go to Newsweek.com for more podcast videos and, of course, news. It's in the title. You can also, of course, like and subscribe and do all the things. Comment below, because I would love to hear from you, and I will be replying to your comments. So go ahead and comment, please. And in the meantime, watch something fun today. Maybe binge watch Ransom Canyon or Off the Grid, or go see London Calling. I mean, you got options. And have a good one.